Big Al, I think we're live. Let's go, buddy.
Good morning.
Let's do this. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning sales meeting time. That's what I'm talking about. Let me get the recording going. Record on computer, Dave, or cloud?
You look good in both places.
How about cloud or computer? Recording cloud or computer. I got Jude on the line too.
Go to the cloud.
All right, now we're officially live. We're recording. Let's do this, man.
Let's do it, man.
Tuesday morning sales meeting. We're excited to be here with everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Super excited. Let me go ahead and mute all the phone calls for now. But we're excited to get this call started because as last week, we had a really great event here last night.
Excellent event.
We had about 100 people here at the Institute. We had some really great speakers. This woman, TJ, was here talking about the 4 personality types. And then we had Steve Linder talking about NLP and neuro-linguistic programming. Man, how cool was that? I mean, it was just super cool. It was really, really great. And, it was a great event. We had over 100 people. We stayed here till 11:30 last night, just filling everybody with a lot of power, a lot of opportunity, and it was great.
You want to know what the greatest event is?
What's that?
The greatest event?
Greatest event of all time.
Is right now. It's the end of the month. It is the end of the month. Not only do you get the end of the month, then you get right into March on the weekend. I mean, you finish strong and you start out strong.
That's right.
That's what the event is.
That's right.
Okay.
That's a big time. It's a big time for you guys
Absolutely.
in the automotive business. End of month.
And we want to cover a couple of objections here that are really, really important. I'm really fired up.
Man.
I am so fired up this morning. I've just been thinking about everybody and how do you sell cars? How do you sell cars? Everybody that walks into the dealership, as Cardone says, has your money. And if you don't take it from them, they're going to give it to somebody else. Now here's the trick. May I?
Go ahead. He's excited. He's on fire. Why would I stop him?
Here's the trick. No matter what they say today, no matter, I can't buy, I need my wife, I got to go get one of my legs removed. I don't, whatever they say, it's no problem. I'm so glad you came in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so glad you came in. Well, you guys, I keep going back how I sold a lot of cars. I didn't care what they said. Because somebody told me once, it's not what they say, it's what they did. What did they do? They drove in. So you need to be a professional salesperson.
Yeah.
And if I may tell that quick story about the Honda.
Please.
Okay. A very good friend of mine who's a retired car guy who's been very successful. Him and his wife want to buy a Honda Pilot. So they stop at a Honda dealership in the Palm Beach area. We won't mention which one. And if you look at these people, they're coming in a late model SUV. The walk is, I know I got money, right? And the salesman approaches them and gives them welcome to my dealership. I'm glad you're here. And they say, well, great, man. I like this guy. We want to drive a Honda Pilot. He said, no problem. And my friend said, but we're not buying it today. Now, this is my friend telling me the story. We're not buying it today. And this professional so-called salesman says, go over to the operator and she'll find somebody for you. Think about that. He's driving a brand new Honda. He says, where do I go? I recommend him somewhere. They took care of him. He's driving a new Honda Pilot.
Well, of course, because they're going to say that. And I know who you're talking about. He was a general manager for the company I worked for 26 years ago. This guy's a real car guy. It's not like anything else. So you know what? Look, it's true, man. When it comes to handling objections, people are going to say that. They're going to say, we're not buying today. I got to think about it. My wife is not with me. All these objections that you're going to get, there's no question. But again, that doesn't mean that they're not going to buy today. Man, you're on fire, brother.
Well, I've been thinking about this all day, and I'm thinking some people, you guys get in the business, and then you watch the old timers do it wrong, and you forget that anybody that comes in there has your money, and you got to go to work. It's not, hi, can I help you? You got to go to work. And understand now, at the end of the month, it's the end of the month. They don't know that, we don't know that. The reason they're there, because they're really going to give you a low offer and they know you're going to take it. That's why. And they're going to tell you they're not buying it. I don't know if they can hear you. You don't know if she can hear me. Okay, the end of the month, no matter what they say, no problem. I'm so glad that you're here. See, I sold cars because people felt obligated. Because I did what nobody else would do. I'd make sure I got him a drink. I'd make sure I got him some food. I'd get in the trunk and show him how to sleep in the trunk if they were ever locked out of their house. I did what nobody else would do. I wasn't the greatest closer in the world. I just made them feel obligated. If you have the right car and they're on the fence, which way are they going to go? Come on, he's better than that last guy. Let's go with him.
Yeah.
The obligation closed.
It's not, and not only that, man.
And you're the same way.
I know.
You're the same way. People fell in love when I met him. There's no pressure.
But they still said, you know, I got to think about it. They still said my spouse is not with me. They still said I got to get leg surgery and they're going to cut it off in an hour. They still said all that stuff. I only have 15 minutes and I got to go. Look, you're going to hear all that today. Or how about, you know, my payments are $50 too much. My payments are $50 too high. Well, guess what? You're going to hear that your payments are $50 too high. Now, here's the thing I want to talk about is about the technique we use on how to handle objections. Because you don't want to be that guy or you don't want to be that person that if they say, well, hey, it's $50 too much on my payment, you don't have an answer for them. Or, hey, my spouse is not with me, that you don't have an answer for them.
What do most people say?
Well, why don't we go get your spouse?
Yeah.
Or what they say is, why don't we go get your spouse?
Or what payment do you want?
Or what payment do you want? So let's talk about this, and I hope everybody has a pen and paper because this is important in any sales. I mean, we're talking about specifically about automotive sales right now, but I don't care what sales you're in. Any kind of sales that you're in, you will hear these objections. And we use a formula that we call AIM. And AIM is an acronym, and I'll show it to you. It's on the back board here. AIM is an acronym, if I can find it. There we go. AIM. AIM stands for A, acknowledge. You want to acknowledge what the person said. You want to acknowledge that what their objection is, especially when you're presenting numbers, okay? The I stands for isolate. So you want to take that objection, you want to isolate it because you want to make sure that that's really the true objection. A lot of people just say something because they don't know what else to say. Quite frankly, in the automotive industry, people they're afraid. They're afraid of you. I mean, you know, we know the reputation. It's not a true reputation. We're all actually professional automotive salesmen are really good quality people. We know this. But the reputation is that they're afraid of you. And then the M stands for move to a close. So I want to demonstrate some of that, okay, Alan? We can talk about acknowledge, isolate, move.
Okay.
No matter what the objection is.
Okay.
Acknowledge, isolate, move to a close. Now, for example, you're in the automotive business. Whoever's watching the automotive industry right now, you will hear today, especially we have the end of the month coming up. And by the way, I think there's 5 weekends in March, man. That's going to be awesome. You're going to hear, you know what? We're $50 a month away on payment. Are you going to hear that today, Al?
Absolutely.
You're going to hear $50 or you're $100. Now, if you don't know how to handle this as a professional, you're going to give away profit. You're going to give away gross profit and or a possible deal because you're $50 a month away. So what you want to do is you want to acknowledge it.
Okay, but before you do that, before you acknowledge what they just said, the worst thing most sales, let's talk about what most people do.
Right.
Well, what can you afford?
Right.
Okay, you just gave them the power. Or let me go talk to my manager. When you get up and leave, they're not saying good things about you. They're not saying good things about us.
Right.
So look at all the ways that you've been handling. Well, what can you pay? Well, can you do $225? I mean, we're ready to give it up. Is your time worth $50 an hour?
And think about it. Yeah, and think about how much, and I'm going to go through the whole program, the whole acknowledge, isolate, move with you right now and see how much money it actually makes and how close to a day, you know, how close to a deal you can get. Because you're going to get that. And a bad salesperson will say, well, how close to the 350? Hey, you know, you're at 400, they are at 350. Well, how close to the 350 can you get? Well, 350. You understand? I mean,
I got a little bit of deal. 350.
Yeah, 350. So but if you use the AIM formula, you're going to be able to overcome that objection. So why don't we role play, Al? You want to be the salesman or you want to be the customer?
I'll be whatever you want me to be. You know, this gentleman, if you guys don't know him, is a great guy. But what he did, he sold a lot of cars, but one day a guy came in and bought a car from him and liked him so much that through the years, they sent you 20 customers.
Are you talking about Troy? Yes.
Yes, 20 customers.
20 plus customers.
All of his family bought cars from Matt. You went into business, you bought a truck from Matt. Matt was their car guy. Now, that particular gentleman is a big shot in a big company, and now they want us to come and help them sell more of their product.
Yeah.
Just because you said hello to somebody one day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, let's talk about the objection first. Powerful, right? So you be the customer.
I'll be the customer.
And I propose to you, you know, you're at $400 a month, and you wanted to be at $350.
Okay, we're sitting down at the desk.
Right.
You already spent 2 hours with them, right? Okay.
You're presenting numbers now.
And then get ready to present numbers, okay? Okay, Matt, what do we got?
Well, and then you present the numbers, okay? And I show him he's at 400. Well, Al, great news. Well, we go through this whole program, right? Al, great news. Hard part's over. Found the car you want. We found the color you want. Hey, we even got the options you chose, right?
Yeah, nice car.
Easy part's painful. We have many options for you to choose from. Whichever one you choose, hey, it's great with me. I'm just excited to earn your business. So we go through a couple of negotiations. I present the payment to the customer. Let's say I present, we're at $3,000 down, making it up, but we're at $400 a month. And they wanted to be at $350 a month. So Al's going to turn around and say,
At 400, Matt, that's $50 too much. You know, I got a couple of kids, they got to eat every day. So we're $50 away in payments.
okay, great. And what you do here is remember the formula, right? First you want to do is acknowledge it. Rather than just saying, okay, well, we're $50 a month away. Well, how close to that can you get? That's kind of weak. What you want to do is you want to say, you know, Al, listen, I can appreciate that. And I can appreciate that we all have a budget. We want to make sure that you can afford the investment, am I right?
Absolutely.
And I just tied it down. Hey, I can appreciate that, Al. You want to make sure that this is affordable to you. Am I right? You acknowledge what they just said. Feed it back to them. So this is what we were talking about in neuro-linguistic programming yesterday. Literally, just feed it back to them. And then I tied it down, and he said, yeah, that's right. Great. Now I'm going to take it, I'm going to isolate it, because I want to see if there's any other objections. So, Al, what you're saying to me is, other than the payment right now, besides that, I like to put that aside for right now. Other than the payment, we're being $50 a month investment away, other than that, is there anything else stopping you from taking this car home today?
No, you get it at $350, we got a deal.
Great. Now
Not a penny over.
Great. I can appreciate that. Now I completely isolated it, right? I acknowledged the objection, so I fed it back to him, right? There's no combativeness here. I isolated the objection, so now that's really the only objection I want to work on right now. That's the only objection that's going to come up at this point. Now I'm going to move to a close. Now I can use a couple of different various closes, but at this point, I might pull out the reduced to ridiculous close. And if you don't know what that is, you should really write that down. It's called reduced to ridiculous. And I would say to him, you know, Al, listen, I can appreciate that. And I'm glad you're being, you know, forthright with me and you telling me that we can do a deal. What I like to do is put things into the proper perspective. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Great. You know, I know we picked the Sonata with the sun and sound package, and we got the leather package and the sunroof, because you did say you wanted those particular options, right? They weren't musts, but you wanted them, right? And I understand that. I really appreciate that. We want to drive something that we feel good in.
Sure.
All right, great. Let's put things in the proper perspective, if you don't mind. Can you do me a favor? You have a cell phone, don't you?
Sure.
Great. Can you pull it out for me? Now, what I would do is, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to have my piece of paper down, and I'm going to have him actually physically do the act, right? And just pull out the calculator.
Okay.
Okay, let's take $50 and divide that by 4.3 for me. Tell me what you get.
$11.
$11.62. Great. And now do me a favor, take that and divide that by 7 days. You see where I'm going here, don't you? Now he's going to tell me it's $1.66. So what I'm going to say to Al right now is I'm going to say,
It's $1.66.
yeah, I'm going to say, you know what, Al? Really what we're talking about is $1.66 a day. As you mentioned, this is the car you want with the options you chose. We're really going to let $1.66 a day keep you from having the exact car that you want?
No, I guess you're right. Can you make it, I go $375.
Up to?
I was at $350, I moved to $375 for you.
Okay. Notice what happened there. God, this is so important, right? I asked him a closing question. I didn't speak. I let him speak first. I want you to think about this. Right now, at this point, even if I don't bump him any higher than or if he doesn't go any higher than the $375 a month payment, what you just did is you just took $25 and times that by 72 months. You just got $1,800 in either profit or closer to a deal that you're in, because you acknowledged an objection, you isolated the objection, and you moved to a close. Now, I'm not going to give up at the $375. I'm going to try to get him up to $390. You know, let him win a little bit as well, because look, the reality is a lot of people, when they buy a car, they want that specific car. They might not need the equipment that's in it, but if you can justify, and that's called a reduced to ridiculous clause, and we have a ton of different clauses on our website and in our class, but that's just one clause. And it's acknowledging it, isolating it, and move to a close. And trust me, you're going to hear you're $50 a month away on payment.
Now, can I share a close with you?
Please.
This was my close. I used it many times. So we were at $400 and the customer bumped to $375, right? So now we're $25 away. If you've done everything possible, you take your wallet out, you put it on the table and say, I will give you that $25 every month. You stop over here, I'll give you a $25 check. I used to do that with a lot of people. I'll give you $25 every month. And you know what they'd say? Now, all right, we'll do the deal. All right, we don't want your money. I've only had one person come back one time for whatever, I don't remember, it was $20 or $20. One time they came by. But most people aren't going to come by. But that's your final close.
And I've never done that, so that's kind of cool. I've never done that where I pull my wallet out like Al did.
Oh, yeah.
But it works, doesn't it? You know, look, as a salesperson, you know, you have to be a professional salesperson, understand really how to handle objections. This goes for anything. This goes for, look, you present numbers, and and Al, the customer, turns around and says, well, look, I really appreciate that. Like, let's do this. Do the I got to think about it. Because, and then we'll get into some other real quick stuff. I know we don't want to keep it too long, but you're going to hear I got to think about it today.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got to think about it is not a real objection. And you have to understand that, but when you use the AIM formula, acknowledge, isolate, move to a close, you're going to find out what the real objection is, right? So let's do that. I present numbers, blah, blah, blah. We go through the numbers, and then Al turns around and says,
you know what, Matt, I need to think about it.
And then you as a professional salesperson, well, a bad salesperson is going to say this.
What do you need to think about?
Right, that's exactly right. A bad salesman's going to say, well, what do you need to think about? I mean, you know, we got the right car, you got to, what's there really to think about?
Look what that does.
It's creating animosity.
Yeah, even more. You're feeding it.
Yeah, it's creating conflict.
So let's do that.
So let's now watch the AIM formula. This works perfectly.
Matt, I think I need to think about it.
You know, I can appreciate that you want to think about it. I mean, it's a big purchase, and you want to make sure when you make a big purchase that you make the right decision. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Just notice what I did. There's no conflict there. There's no, what do you got to think about? I got what you want. This is here. Let's go right now. It's the end of the month. Can't get a better deal. No. I acknowledge him. Acknowledge him. Acknowledge the objection. I can appreciate the fact that you really want to think about it, Al. I mean, you know, it's a big purchase, and if you make a big purchase, you want to make sure that you're making the right decision. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Now he feels good. I acknowledged him. Now I'm going to isolate that. Look, other than the fact that you got to think about it, I mean, really think about this. Putting that aside for now. Putting that aside. Other than the fact that you got to think about it, Al, is there anything else really stopping you from buying this car right today?
No, but I think I like the white one better. I don't think I like that burgundy one.
I get it, and I understand that. You know, you're making a good purchase, and you want to make sure you're getting the right car that you want, right?
Right.
So really, what you're saying to me, Al, is not the fact that you got to think about it. I mean, you've already done a lot of research, haven't you?
A little bit.
Yeah, we discussed up in step number 2, by the way. We discussed that you did a bunch of research. You and your wife did a bunch of research on the internet, and this is the car you wanted, right? Really, what it's coming down to is the color. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, you do that deal on the white one. We'll do the deal today.
So just switch the colors, and we got a deal.
You got it.
Okay, great. Let me just get your signature right here on the white one. Now look, is it going to be that easy? Sometimes not, but sometimes it will be. But remember, acknowledge, isolate, move. What you do there is, I got to think about it's not really an objection, other than the fact you got to find out what the true objection is. Whether it's the payment, the color, the equipment, you got to truly dig deep and find out what the real objection is. Okay?
And that's one that, when you come down to it, okay, you need to think about it. I understand you need to think about it. Everything Matt just said. Now, do you need to think about the leather? Or you like the leather? Do you need to think about the navigation? Do you need to think about the sunroof? So, you're okay with all those? Come on, let's go. Come on.
Here's another one. I got to tell you, I use the Ben Franklin close a lot. I got to think about it. And I'll tell you what the Ben Franklin close is, guys. Here's what I'll do. I'll just show you basically what it is on a clean sheet of paper, okay? But the Ben Franklin close is a really cool close. So if they say, I got to think about it, let's go with continue, I got to think about it, right? So Al, other than you got to think about it, other than you sleeping on it for the night, besides that, putting that aside, is this the car you really want to buy?
Well, sure, absolutely.
Right. You know something, listen, Al, I like to do something with you. You know Ben Franklin, of course, right?
I don't know personally.
Well, I mean, you know.
You might have been around back
then. But hey, you know, Ben Franklin had this unique way when he came to a big decision like this is, that he would come to a decision. And he had this formula that I started using in my life. And I'd like to do that with you. You mind if we just do this exercise? Great. What I used to do is, Al, now you take out a clean sheet of paper and you put it on the desk. And you say, Al, what he used to do is write down the middle, he'd put all the pros. And then on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, he'd write all the pros. On the left-hand side, he'd write on the right-hand side, he'd write all the cons. Why do you say we go ahead and do that?
Okay.
All right, so let's go through the pros. This is the car you want, right, Al?
Yep.
Now you start writing, okay? Remember, acknowledge, isolate, move to a close. You start writing the pros. This is the car you want. It's got the equipment you want. Hey, it's got a full factory warranty. Am I right? This is the car you said your other car doesn't have any more warranty.
Right.
Right? It's the color you want, right? You said gas mileage, you're going to get 5 more miles to the gallon. Yes? Great. You love the way the car handled and drove. Drove nicer than your other one, right? Right. And you go through a list of different things that are pros. Now you're writing these things down. Now you turn around to Al and you say, by the way, Al, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of the cons you might think they are?
I got to pay for it.
And boom, there's your objection. You see, when you get to the cons, that's the true objection. That's why that close is beautiful. That's why that close really, really works, okay? So you can use various different closes. And we don't have enough time here to go through all the objections and all the different closes. However, I do want to say that if you use the AIM formula, it's very powerful for you to sell more cars. I guarantee that you will sell 2 to 3 more cars a month, and that could be your bonus unit, right?
And I back up that guarantee. See, you guys that are watching this right now, you're saying you want to be better. And the key is getting better. Just like all of us, including myself, we need to keep getting better. And that's what makes a great salesperson, not 1 month or 2 months. It might take you 3 or 4 months. But the bottom line is we want you to tune into this. We want you to stay in touch with us. We want to assist you. We want to do whatever it takes. And anything that you need help with, man, you just pick up the phone. Somebody's here to talk to you. But the bottom line is it's the end of the month and the beginning of a new month. And what should they do, Matt?
Get ready to rock and roll, man.
Yes. And understand that next person that walks in there has your money or somebody else they're going to give it to. But they have your money. So you got to understand that. No matter what they say, no problem, glad you came in. I'm not buying for 6 months. No problem, I'm glad you came in. It's the end of the month. You're going to end it strong, and you're going to start out a new month, fast start bonus.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and you know what? Look, man, you're selling cars. I mean, be proud of what you do. I mean, you know, if you're a professional, be proud of what you sell, man. You're selling products that are $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000. I don't know too many people sell products that are $100,000. So be proud of what you do. Brendan, you say we have a couple questions?
Well, so I mean, just to summarize the paragraph, he basically says objections are opportunities to bring more value.
Absolutely. Who'd that come from?
Amin Amami.
There you go. All right. And I mean, that's correct. Objections are just basic opportunities to give more value. And once you learn how to overcome objections properly, you will, I'm just telling you, you'll double your income. And that's when you become an expert at handling objections, because you're going to get a no. I mean, if you're in this sales profession, I don't care what sales it is. It could be, again, automotive, boats, big computer systems, networks. I don't care what it is. You're going to get a no. It's just the way it is. It's just part of the sales process. So you want to, without question, become an expert on handling objections. If you don't, shame on you. That's all you can say, right?
And objections are just buying signs. That's an objection is, you haven't convinced me yet. I don't see the value yet. That's all an objection is. Remember, they come to us. They drove in, or they made an appointment, or they drove to us. We're not knocking on doors. They've come in there. So they're prepared to give you all the no answers. Mm-hmm. So understand, big weekend, big start.
Big, we got an end of the month, today and tomorrow, man. It's going to be strong. You got any more questions at all, Brendan?
No, you just had a few people giving you some shout outs. You had Shraddha,
great.
Jonathan Nicholas, Manju.
Manju, all the way from India. Shraddha, all the way from India, huh?
Namaste.
You know what? Look, guys, it's going to be a great month end. We have the 2 days for month end. Then you got a big weekend coming in right after that. So the month of March can be a big month. Start learning on a consistent basis how to handle objections, to do all that. We're super excited to be part of your world. We're super excited to be there.
I want to give a shout out to Leonardo. Leonardo, his 3rd week on the floor selling Fords. Last weekend he sold 3 cars on Saturday, he sold hat trick, and 2 cars on Sunday, and 1 car on Monday. Awesome. Leonardo, awesome.
Yeah, hey, great job, Leonardo.
And Mo,
yeah,
Mo's rocking and rolling, baby.
At the Ford store.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so look, thanks for joining us today. You know, we come here every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, so jump on, man. Just jump on
Pass
every
the
Tuesday
word,
morning
man.
at 9 o'clock.
Pass the word, 20 minutes of power.
Share the video. Share the video to people that you know. You know, get the word out every Tuesday. My name's Matt Wahnon, this is Al DeSarro, and we're with Maximum Potential Institute, and we are excited to be part of your day, excited to be part of your end of month.
So put it in your phone, let it alarm you. Every Tuesday at 9 o'clock and every Friday at 9 o'clock, there's going to be 20 minutes of a power hour, but only for 20 minutes.
Well, we usually run over 20.
Well, he usually runs over 20. But other than that, guys, thanks for spending time with us.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.